Welcome once again, everyone. Good to have you all with us. For those who are still in church, we're going to do a little dedication of the Steeple that Paula was instrumental. Well, I'll start and then in my own remarks I'll tell you the story. Everything has a story. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, show us your mercy and love. The story is that Benjamin Church is my second church that I built, and in both cases we were merging parishes together. The first two were up in Sellersburg, Indianapolis, where I was patient for 10 years, and we merged two parishes together there. And then when I came here, they had a plan to eventually merge two parishes that started like in 1995. Was the start of the plan. The diocese had come out with a future parish staffing that said at some point St. Paul and St. Joe Hill would share a priest. And so the parishes, to their credit, got proactive. And they developed this plan called Vision 2020. And the vision was that by the year 2020, there would be one parish in one location with a school of K through 8. So that was the vision that they had. Well, I come here, then that vision that was formulated about 1998, and then as pastors are apt to do, it went up on the shelf, and nothing happened. I came in 2013, I dusted it off, and sent a letter out 6 months after I got here saying, is this what you want? This was the vision back in 1998, you still want this vision. Thinking that we might have 50% or so say, yeah, that's what we want. Well, it ended up coming back 75%. Saying, yeah, that's what we want. So I said, okay. We had a parish assembly that did the same thing. 78% of those who attended the assembly said, yeah, that's what we want. So we made the decision to go ahead and move forward, purchase this piece of land, and then start making plans to build this church. Had the architects come down, said it was going to cost $6 million. Well, they said, had a fundraising company come in. At the same time, the architects came in. The fundraising company said you could raise $4 million. The architects said you need at least $6 million. And I said, okay. And so we did our fundraising campaign, and we raised 6.7. So it was really a very successful campaign. The architects come back, and all that in a period of about 18 months to 2 years. Well, prices went up in that time, and they said they're about $1 million short. And so we made changes to the church. We were supposed to have a chapel back there for daily masses, a whole lot of things that got cut. And then one of the things that got cut was the steeple. We just said, we don't have enough to build a steeple. And so I'm going to leave it right there, and then I'm going to have Joan do our first reading, our own readings.
Jesus said, which of you wishing to construct a tower does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if there is enough for its completion? Otherwise, after laying the foundation and finding himself unable to finish the work, the onlooker should laugh at him and say, this one began to build but did not have the resources to finish.
So that's where we were. We began, we were going to build, but we didn't have the resources to complete it. And so I got word that Paula's parents were from here, and I'm never ashamed to go ask somebody for help with something. And so I made contact with her, and she came over, and I'll be honest, it was the easiest ask I've ever had. She simply said, what do you need? And what a blessing that was to be able, because that church would look really weird. I mean, we were going to do it. We were going to go right to the top of the bricks. We go back out, take a look. We were going to go right to the top of the bricks, and we're just going to stop. And when we raise the money, then we put the steeple on. But Paula saved the day in that sense, and we were able to complete the project now. And it really does make the church. And not only the steeple, but also the bell system that we have in there as well as a result of that as well. So today we give thanks for her life and her generosity, her generous heart to her children. Thank you as well for taking care of her in those final days. And to all of you who are part of the Sellers family,
I was part of this ask, because Paula was my dear friend. And so I was part of the link, if you will. But when we asked Paula, what would you like to do? I said, why don't you dedicate this steeple to your parents who, they were married at this church at St. Paul. And she wanted it to be anonymous, and for good reason. Because when you give a gift of this size and people know about it, oftentimes they'll come back to you, or, there are other people who will come to you and ask. So we left it anonymous. But after Paula died, I went to Jeremy and Tina and asked them if we could now announce it. And Father Tom was very open to that because he wanted that recognition. And I'm glad you all came today before the church because it was a major gift. So today it'll be dedicated, a little late, but it'll be dedicated to Paula's parents.
And when we finish here, we'll look at the adoration chapel that we have, and that's where the plaque hangs, so you can see the plaque as well. And let me just tell you another piece that kind of ties in, and for me, it's just how God works in our lives. The chapel itself cost about $150,000, and that came also not from one of our parishioners, but from somebody who's loosely connected to the parish, and he said the same thing. I want to do it anonymously, but I might come back later and dedicate it to someone in my family. So there may end up being a second family things back there side by side. From two people who weren't in the parish, who owed us nothing, but were generous enough to help us in our needs. So thank you for that. And let us now pray this prayer of dedication. May the merciful Lord enliven and strengthen us by his blessing as we dedicate this steeple in his name. May the spirit of devotion and filial love that Paula had in her heart also dwell in our hearts, so that we may walk blamelessly throughout this life and happily reach life everlasting. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. And may God bless this steeple and all who see it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless each one of you. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now, that's the dedication. If you want me to tell you a little bit about the church, I'm happy to do so. And then you can look around and see it. The windows came from Holy Cross Church up in Indianapolis. Holy Cross Church closed about a year before we started our construction. So we knew that the windows were available. It's a church that my dad was baptized in. So there's a family connection to me. And they're just beautiful windows. And so the windows, the church was actually built with these windows in mind, around the windows. And if you go over and take a look at the very first one over here, it says it's dedicated to those who served in the World War. The smaller windows were put in when the church was built in 1904. The larger windows, which were in the transept, somebody I was talking about that churches used to be in that cruciform, that cross shape. Well, they had a transept, and so the larger windows were added later in the transept. So they're a little bit younger, but still over 100 years old. The one over here was dedicated to those who served in the World War. So that window was dedicated sometime after World War I and before World War II, because it doesn't say World Wars, it says World War. And I know there was going to be a second. So that window was dedicated to those. The Stations of the Cross also came from Holy Cross Church. And so those are beautiful additions to our building here. Back here in the back, we call that our Divine Mercy alcove, right next to the statue of our patron, St. John Paul II. And that is a first-class relic of St. John Paul II. Very few churches that are fortunate enough to have a relic of the patron of the church, because the recent pope, we had some drop of his blood in the relic there. The Adoration Chapel is back behind here. You'll be able to take a look at that. And then these 4 gospel reliefs are from an artist up in Indianapolis who's also a firefighter up there. And they're as a symbol, comes out of the book of Revelation. The gospel writer Luke is the symbol of the ox, and it's off here to the right. Mark is the lion. Matthew, and those are on the left. Matthew is the divine man, so you see an image on the left side of Matthew there. And the second one is John, and the eagle you can see there. So take a look at those. The crucifix, the corpus of the crucifix came from St. Joe Church. It was put in the church in 1883 when they had their first mission. So that is original to the church. The statues back here are new. And then this is a statue from St. Joe's, and the statue over there is from St. Paul's church. Let's see. We have the theme of the Jerusalem cross in our baptismal font, and there on the altar, the Jerusalem cross, the architects asked, what was St. John Paul II known for? And it was his evangelization was his theme throughout his papacy, to spread the gospel of Jesus with a new vigor, new courage, he said. And so the Jerusalem cross is taking Jesus to the four corners of the earth. So you have the center cross and you have four smaller crosses beside. So you can see that in the baptismal cross. You can see it in our dedication crosses that are on the wall. So the big cross and then the four smaller crosses taking Jesus to the corners of the earth. The dedication crosses, we ask people to bring in jewelry and stuff in their homes. And so they brought in all that, and that was used to make those crosses. So that was kind of a neat addition. If you want, we'll take you through to the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, and you can see that as well. So thank you all for being here.